Most people go through their whole lives not knowing exactly who they are. Not because they don't want to, but because nobody taught them how to look. And some people, they just don't see any importance in knowing who they truly are. I began to search for the meaning of life and who I really am beyond this body, beyond this beautiful face, beyond this sack of flesh that I am inside. Who is inside this sack of flesh? I mean, I had been living in this body for like 20 years and I didn't even know who she was or who it was. I mean, I know the things that I grew up hearing, the things my parent taught me, the things the society taught me, the things the school taught me, both academic school and Sunday school, what they taught me to believe, how they conditioned me to be. That was who I was, but that wasn't who I wanted to be for the rest of my life. I wanted to dig deep into who I am beyond all this societal conditioning. And that was when I started to ask myself the question, who am I? I'm 26 years old now, and if there's one thing I'm going to tell you is that I am still figuring things out, but I have learned to look at the patterns, to pay attention to the things that I keep running from or the things that I'm attracted to. I'm still in that journey, but in this video, I'm going to tell you some things that I have figured out and accepted about myself. And if you're still trying to figure out yourself and who you are, this video is for you. Not because I have figured out everything, but because this video is going to help you look at who you really are and forget about what the society is telling you to be. Number one, I love experiencing people. Each relationship I have is an opportunity to experience people from a different point of view. I believe that each and every one of us are the exact same person. The only difference is that we are experiencing life from our own unique point of view. But the life that we are experiencing is the exact same thing. The choices that we make, the decisions that we make, the people that we fall in love with is often very predictable, and it often has a pattern that is based off our societal and family upbringing. So meeting new people, being friends with new people, experiencing new people is an opportunity to look at how they view life based off the upbringing that they had and the unique experiences that they had to go through. I am a lover of animations, and there's one animation that I really love because it depicts this story that I'm trying to tell you exactly well. The title of that animation is To Your Eternity. The main character of this animation is somebody that was dropped into this earth as a rock. That was his first life on earth. He started as a rock and then he evolved into a wolf. How did he turn it from a rock to a wolf? It was when in the desert there was snow everywhere and a wolf died on top of the rock. He turned into the wolf. Now this rock had been in that stationary position for so many years. People walked past it, people kicked it around, but nobody knew that this particular rock had life in it. The only thing this rock needed to bring out that life form in it was to come in contact with another life form. So luckily, after so many years of being stationary, of not evolving, it finally got in contact with a wolf and it immediately turned into that wolf. It carried the senses, the feelings, the memories of that wolf, and that was how it was able to trace the house of the wolf. In that house was where it met a human being. This human being was the owner of the wolf, and since the wolf had been missing for so many days, this particular human was so excited to have its wolf back. But unfortunately, after a few days, this human being died right in front of the wolf. Now this wolf, seeing the human die, took on the form of the human being. Essentially, the character of this movie takes on the form or the characteristics of any human being it meets. Now somebody or a life form that started as a rock and evolved into a human being. In the beginning, it did not know how to talk, it did not know how to eat, it did not know how to take care of itself, because you have to understand, it wasn't born into this world through a man and a woman. It came into this world being dropped as a rock, and so it had nobody to teach it. Now, as it went along and met new people, it evolved into better form of itself. After a while, it learned how to talk, how to eat, how to express itself, and learn different languages. And this resonated with me deeply because it made me realize that every person that I let close to me adds a layer into who I am. Everybody that I let into my world, into my space, into my reality affects who I am, changes who I am, evolves me in one way or the other. Even though I am not a chameleon, I am not fake, I don't lose myself, but I strongly believe that one of the things that inspires growth in me is meeting people. I grow through people. So for me, community isn't just something that I enjoy. Community is how I evolve, and so community is very important to me. Not just any community, but I pick these people knowing that I want to grow in a way that is beautiful, and so I pick beautiful people. I pick people that inspire me. Community is how I evolve. Number two thing I've learned about myself is that people underestimate me. I don't know what it is about me. I don't know if it's the way I look, or the way I carry myself, but I discover at first glance people underestimate me. People think I'm too soft, I'm too weak because of the way I speak, because of the way I carry myself. They think that they can maybe push me over, and they assume that I am surface level. They think that I am all about aesthetic and I have no real depth. But when they get close to me, they realize that I think deeply, I move intentionally, and I notice things that most people will not notice. And also, I use that weak part to shock them, because when shit goes down, they find out that, wow, she's actually really tough. So I use that weakness as a facade to deceive people. Trust me, I can switch up when I need to. Number three, at the time of filming this video, I have a really complicated relationship with religion. This one is really hard for me to say out loud because I grew up in a Christian family. My dad was not a church goer, but to my understanding, he believes in Jesus Christ. My mom, however, was an avid church goer, a prayer, a faster. She believed in Jesus Christ, and so I grew up with both parents. I grew up in Sunday school. The stories in the Bible, the story of creation, the story of heaven and earth, the story of Satan's betrayal, and all of that. And growing up in that kind of environment, it kind of shapes up your mind to be a good person, not because you actually are a good person, but because you are pretending for God, because you need to be in heaven. You don't want to be in hell. I remember then my Sunday school teacher would always tell me, if your mom is cooking on the stove, can you put your hand inside the stove? And I'll be like, no, it's too hot. And then my Sunday school teacher will always be like, hellfire is 100 times hotter than that fire. And I'll be like, as young as I was, I'm like, I have to do everything I possibly can in this life to make sure I don't end up in a place like that. But as an adult, experiencing life, reading, thinking, observing, I have brought forth a completely different version of myself. These days, when I go to church, I sit in church and I see the manipulation of the sermon. Now, I believe that Jesus Christ is real, but the way his message has been presented to us all these years has been manipulated in a way that it benefits the church. It benefits the organization called the church. These days when I go to church and I listen to my pastor preach, I notice the things that he says in that sermon that will help his pockets, that will help his ministry, his establishment. The way they translate the phrases in the Bible is not the exact way it should be translated. These verses are translated in ways that favors the church, that favors their pockets. Nowadays, I see the way the gospel is packaged as a control tactic to the masses. But in all of that, I still stay through the sermon. And the next Sunday, I still dress up and go for the sermon. Right now, the contradiction lives in me. I am not fully out and I am not fully in. I am just somewhere in between, trying to find a balance in knowing that Jesus Christ is real, but also understanding his message that he brought to us in a way that is real and true, that is devoid of the manipulation and the control tactic of the church and religion. So I am in a phase where I am trying to decenter religion, or I am trying to pick and choose the parts of Christianity that resonates deeply with me. I am not afraid to do my own thing. I am not afraid to think my own way. Number four thing about me is that I love fashion and I love beauty, but I am yet to find my style. One thing I know about myself right now is that I am drawn to big, chunky, bold pieces in terms of my jewelry choices. As you can see, I love bold earrings like this. I love fresh braids over lace fronts any day. Now, I know that lace fronts are beautiful and they give you a different look, but it's something that I would only use on a special occasion and I would only use for one day and take it off. Like, I'm not just comfortable on the look. I am a fresh braids girly. I love my fresh braids. I love different styles. I love the convenience of protective braids. And yeah, for now, that's who I really am. And to be honest, right now, I feel like the full picture of my style in terms of clothing, in terms of shoes and every other thing is still being drawn. Like, I haven't seen the full picture yet. It's okay. Some people find their style at 19. Some people know what they like in terms of their style at 18, but I'm 26 and I don't know my style. I'm still figuring that out. But what I love about myself is that at least I am on the journey. Number four, I am a perfect mix of introvert and extrovert. Yes. And I know some people find this confusing. They be like, what do you mean you're a perfect mix of introvert and extrovert? The kind of person I am, yeah. I love people genuinely, but I do not thrive in group settings. What I thrive in is one-on-one connection within a group setting. Now, I could be at a party where we have multiple people, let's say 20 people, but I spend the entire night in one-on-one conversation with just one person or two people, and I'm fine. I don't need to be friends with everybody in the party. I don't need to talk to everybody in the party. If a particular group is more than 5, count me out, because you're not going to hear my voice. I'm just going to pick a chair and find a corner in the room, sit and observe everybody else. So that is the kind of person I am. I can be in extroverted spaces, but even within that space, I will be an introvert. I don't know if you understand that. My biggest fear isn't failure in the dramatic sense. My biggest fear is grinding for years and finding no growth, still being in the same spot in terms of self-discovery, which is a very big thing for me, in terms of wisdom, in terms of your spirit man, and that you have not found growth, or you have not aligned with those things that truly matter in any way. My biggest fear is always chasing money and never finding money. And I have come to understand that in life you shouldn't chase money. Instead of that, chase wisdom, chase understanding, chase solution. And if you do those things, you will never be broke. So I am not scared of being broke. To me, being broke is not failure. What is failure is coming into this life, living for so many years or as many years as you are given, and not knowing who you are, not knowing what you like, what you dislike, or being scared to experience yourself, being scared to live life because you are more worried about what people will think about you, what people will say about you. A lot of people already know how they love to dress, they know how they love to do their makeup, they know how they want to present themselves to the society, but because society has told you that that is not the way you should be, you should dress this certain way, you should conform with this certain ideology, you go ahead and do what the society tells you to do, and then hate on everybody else that dares to be different. I feel like that is the type of failure that I am scared of, because this is a failure of oneself. This is a failure of one's soul, one's spirit, of one's purpose of existence in the first place. Your reason of coming into this life was not to make $100 million. No, it was to know who you are. And I feel like money is one thing that helps humans to discover who they are in another layer of, self-discovery. But if you are not already on that journey when you are broke, in the sense, you are never going to get there once you get money. In fact, you're going to be worse than you are once you get money. The last thing I know about myself is that I am proud of myself, genuinely. I'm proud of who I am, who I've become, how far I've come. Like, the person I am right now, if people that knew me in maybe secondary school, nursery school see me now, they'll really be shocked about how far and how differently I've evolved. And I am proud that I do not conform to society's standards. I am proud of each and everyone that is different, that dares to be different. And those kind of people inspires me, and I see something in them. I'm like, what is the driving force behind you being different, for daring to be who you are, even though the society, me included, even though I don't agree with who you are, I am proud that you are free to be who you are. I do not believe in right or wrong. I do not believe in good or bad. I believe that for there to be a balance, they have to be good and bad within a person. For you to be a balanced human being, you don't have to be goody two shoes all the time. You would only be a pretender. You should always sometimes allow yourself to experience the dark parts of you, the inhumane, wicked parts of you, because that is who you are. And even God knows that the heart of man is wicked. And so why don't you live your life and quit suppressing yourself because you feel like you have to be goody two shoes in order to earn a place in heaven? Even in the Bible, most of the notable figures in the Bible, like Moses, for example, which is one of the people that were the closest to God. I mean, even in the Bible, you see that God spoke to Moses one-on-one in different times. Like, he was so close to God. Moses was somebody that had committed murder before. He had killed a fellow human being before God called him. So being chosen or being loved by God is not about being the best person in the room, the cleanest person, the most well-behaved person in the room. It is not. And also another reason where whenever I hear scandalous stories about pastors or men of God, priests, imams, I'm just like, I'm in no place to judge another human being. Like, there is evil in each and every one of us, okay? And yeah, that's what I believe, and that's what I've come to learn about myself. Like, I no longer do things because I want to be accepted or because I want to go to heaven in the religious sense. No, I do what I want because that is what my heart wants. That is what my heart is craving, and so I do it. And I'm proud of that. I'm proud of how I carry myself, how I've survived several things that I haven't talked about publicly, how I have grown into my values instead of just inheriting them from my parents or from the society. I'm proud of how far I have come from who I used to be previously. I am becoming my own person deliberately, slowly, and in my own terms. Now, I'm just 26, and one thing I know about the human life is that change is the only constant thing. This belief I have now, these things I know about myself now that I've shared with you, could change in a couple days, in a couple years. I could watch this video and laugh and like, oh my God, is this how I really used to think? But even in that moment, I will still be proud of myself that I had the courage to change my ideology, because there is no one ideology that is fixed and correct and true. You have the right to change. Do not be too ashamed to change. If you are in a journey of self-discovery like me, I see you, I believe in you. Subscribe to my page and come along with me for my own self-discovery, as it will help you in your own journey as well. See you in my next video.